Jonathan Harker carefully recorded the group's discussion, fresh from their unsettling encounter with R.M. Renfield. Quincey Morris and Dr. Seward pondered Renfield's puzzling sanity and his eerie connection to Count Dracula, while Professor Van Helsing, ever cautious, warned them against taking any risks. The men reflected on the incredibly difficult task ahead, feeling they truly needed divine pity before bravely preparing for their dangerous mission. Under the pale moonlight, the group arrived at the Count's house, taking such care to stay hidden. Professor Van Helsing, preparing them for the dangers ahead, gave each man an incredible array of tools: crucifixes, garlic, revolvers, knives, electric lamps, and even sacred wafer. Then, with amazing skill, Dr. Seward used his skeleton keys to open the main door. But what a shock! The scene inside was just like Lucy Westenra's tomb, making the men shrink back in dread. Inside that dusty, icky-smelling house, the men followed Jonathan Harker right to the chapel. But, oh no! They found that 21 of the 50 earth boxes were gone. That made them feel even more scared. Suddenly, a huge swarm of rats burst into the chapel. But wow, Lord Godalming was so clever. He quickly brought in 3 little terriers and zoom! The dogs chased away all those creepy rats, and it felt like the bad feeling just, poof, disappeared. With the chapel finally safe and the whole house searched, the men step out just as the sun begins to peek over the horizon. Professor Van Helsing breathes a sigh of relief. So happy Mina Harker was spared the night's horrors. He even marvels that the Count's spooky power over animals isn't totally limitless. Jonathan hurries back to his room, finding Mina peacefully asleep, and vows right then and there to keep her far, far away from the scary details of their incredible battle against the monster. Jonathan Harker wakes up after a restless night, and there's Mina, still fast asleep and looking so pale. He thinks about how utterly tired she must be and how incredibly important it is to keep her safe, far away from their dangerous work. With 21 earth boxes confirmed gone, Jonathan decides he must find Thomas Snelling to help them trace them, hoping it will make their super hard job just a little bit easier. Suddenly, Dr. Seward was wide awake. It was the wonderfully cheerful Professor Van Helsing, absolutely bursting with eagerness to hear all about Renfield's fascinating thoughts. But oh dear, when Van Helsing went to visit Renfield all by himself, it just didn't work out. Renfield was in a super grumpy mood, even saying mean things to the professor and refusing to speak another word. So, Professor Van Helsing, ever so kind, decided to go chat with Mina Harker instead, thinking she really needed a break from all the worry. Dr. Seward carefully noted the day's exciting plans. Professor Van Helsing had gone to speak with Mina and Jonathan, while Quincey Morris and Arthur Holmwood were already out, hot on the trail of those elusive missing earth boxes. Dr. Seward firmly believed it was vital to keep Mina far from the perilous affair, certain it would utterly destroy her. All the men planned to gather again that very evening. Mina Harker felt such deep sadness and even a little frustration because Jonathan, usually so confident, was keeping her completely in the dark. She thought about all the terrible things that had happened, especially poor Lucy Westenra's death, and even blamed herself for going to Whitby. But despite her distress, Mina resolved to keep writing in her journal, hoping to one day share all her thoughts with Jonathan and show him just how much she trusted him. Mina had such a restless night, hearing dogs barking and strange sounds drifting from Renfield's room. Then, she had an incredibly vivid, terrifying dream where a thick mist swirled into her room, coalescing into a tall pillar that revealed 2 glowing red eyes, just like Lucy had described the Count. Fearing for her sanity, she resolved to try and sleep naturally first, but thought about asking Dr. Seward or Van Helsing for a sleeping aid if she really needed it. Even after sleeping soundly, Mina still felt a strange weakness, her spirits surprisingly low. But then, a gentle visit from R.M. Renfield truly touched her, affecting her deeply. Later, hoping for truly restorative sleep, she asked Dr. Seward for a mild sleeping draught. Yet, as sleep began to draw near, a new, unsettling fear crept in. Had she foolishly given up her power to wake? Should she suddenly need it?